When it comes to these Lithuanians, you probably don't want to meet these guys while they're working their jobs. If that were to happen, it probably means something has gone terribly wrong, either for you or for people around you, or perhaps you're the one doing terribly wrong things. I'm talking about the secretive Lithuanian group known as ARAS, otherwise known as Lietuvos Policijos Antiteroristinių Operacijų Rinktinė, or Lithuanian Police Anti-Terrorist Operations Team. Since they aren't exactly military special forces, and more under civilian police operations, I would say that they could be best compared to SWAT teams that you'll find in the United States. SWAT being an acronym for Special Weapons and Tactics. So today, I wanted to introduce you to these faceless, elite Lithuanians and the types of operations they conduct. So let's get started. The Lithuanian Police Anti-Terrorist Operations Unit, known as ARAS, is said to have been founded in 1991, mainly for the purposes of suppressing organized crime groups. In case you weren't aware of this more recent Lithuanian history, the country throughout the 1990s was overrun with organized crime and gangsters. You can learn more about it in one of my older videos describing how a freshly re-independent post-Soviet Lithuania was somewhat of a Wild West, where criminals ran much of the country. ARAS and its operations have somewhat expanded over the past 30 years. According to its website, it manages special anti-terrorist and hostage release operations in Lithuania, and also carries out joint anti-terrorist operations with officials of the European Union and/or associated Schengen member states. ARAS teams also search for and neutralize improvised explosive devices and military explosives that may be used for terrorist or criminal purposes. And finally, while it doesn't look like it's mentioned on their website explicitly, it does look like ARAS is also used to combat drug trafficking. Although maybe this type of activity falls under operations to arrest armed and dangerous criminals. ARAS says that there are 6 departments: a Special Intervention Section, a First Intervention Section, a Second Intervention Section, an Explosives Search and Neutralization Department, an Information Analysis and Negotiations Department, and finally a Supply Department. The Second Intervention Section is stationed in Klaipėda, but it's not specified where the first section is stationed, at least not in this chart, although my guess would be in or around Vilnius. Specialist roles are listed as the following. You have assault specialists, marine operations, snipers, deminers, and negotiators. Interestingly, their pay was made public online and shows that in 2023, the head of ARAS was paid about 4,472 euros per month. If you're one of the 30 ARAS senior specialists, then you would have been paid about 2,247 euros per month. The 17 chief specialists had a salary of about 2,644 euros. There are a few more categories, so I won't list them all, but you can pause the video to see them here. For what it's worth, pay seems pretty low for some of Lithuania's most highly trained law enforcement specialists, but I guess it's slightly better if these figures are after taxes, but I don't know for sure. Beyond the required training and exercises, there's probably a lot that ARAS does that goes unnoticed by the public, but here are a few examples of the types of threats where the team has been called out as a precaution. In 2012, ARAS explosives experts had to go to the Vilnius Central Post Office after a bomb threat was called in. The anonymous call said that one of the packages contained explosives. 2 years later, ARAS had to check out a suspicious envelope sent to the embassies of the Netherlands and Denmark. In 2012, ARAS divers were sent to Lake Gelugio to investigate reports that there was possibly a tank somewhere under the water. Last year, there was an object discovered in Trakke Castle that resembled an explosive. Experts from the military and ARAS were sent to check things out. And most recently, there was a false bomb threat targeting the border bridge between Lithuania and the Russian territory of Kaliningrad. One of the most dramatic and consequential incidents involving ARAS actually took place at the start of 2024 when a 9-year-old girl was kidnapped. The abduction made national news and had everyone in the country on the lookout for the missing girl. While the Lithuanian police service played a big part in finding the girl, ARAS joined in at the last stage of the operation to help free her and arrest the suspected kidnapper. According to LRT, one combat group of ARAS officers were on duty in Kaunas the entire time, ready to react. The commander of ARAS stated, all other officers, as well as negotiators, were ready to immediately go to the scene if needed. For example, if the kidnapper barricades himself, threatens with a weapon, resists with a weapon, in that case a plan would be introduced and those algorithms would be acted upon. So maybe you're one of the many Lithuanians watching these videos, and you might think you have what it takes to be an ARAS team member. Well, if you are interested, here's what the basic requirements are, according to the official webpage. First and perhaps most obviously, you'll need to be a citizen of the Republic of Lithuania with fluency in the Lithuanian language. You'll need to be at least 18 years old with at least a secondary education, and you'll need to meet certain health requirements and then pass physical and psychological examinations. You need to have a, quote, impeccable reputation and loyalty to the state of Lithuania, and cannot be found guilty of an international crime or be dismissed from the position of a statutory public servant for misconduct or misdemeanor. So on one hand, I don't think they're much different from other special tactical units around the world, but in Lithuania, they definitely stand out as perhaps the most elite law enforcement professionals in the country. Again, unless you're part of the team or in law enforcement yourself, let's hope you never have to be in a situation that needs ARAS to be called out. So, did you know about ARAS before watching this video? Let me know by leaving a comment. For the Lithuanian word of the day, let's go with kovotojas, which roughly translates to fighter or warrior in English. Kovotojas. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.